So we have made it now to, how do you do this? About 8 hours, about 9 hours. So we're at the ninth hour. I keep checking A so you can see it and B because I forget what hour I'm in after it's been this long. Hasn't been that deep of a game. Since our last look, I'm again using more and more of these iron resources, copper resources, things like that. Stone is, I mean, it's only one line, but I'm starting to get to that point where we're eating through our resources. I've since set up a solar panels. Here we go. Just a few. I disconnected it just now because I was eating through all my electric circuits here, and they weren't making it out to make advanced circuits to make my blue science to keep my production going. As you can probably see right now, and as well as on the powers flickering, if you can see the lights dimming out, I've added laser turrets along this whole side of the wall here on the left side and the right side. I'm not sure if laser turrets got a nerf in the last few patches or whatnot since I've last played, but I remember them being a little stronger immediately, but I think it may be that I didn't get the researches immediately. Now I have a little bit more shooting speed. It seems like when they would so like say my turrets here would target one biter, and then when another, if there was a couple of them, another biter would be in range, and they wouldn't switch target to target very fast. And I'm thinking that was partially based on shooting speed. Not 100% sure, but either way, I upped my speed and my damage because I always do. Because I want to just be 100% protected and not have to worry about them attacking or eating through one of my walls, which you can also see here. I've set up some solar panels. Not a whole lot, a few accumulators along the bottom just to help with the power spikes when biters end up attacking. We are at 72, so we're putting out right now, I don't know why we're not putting out maximum amount of solar. Oh, we are putting out max, that's just where it is in terms of based on the 6.3. So it's about 3/4. So almost half my power is coming from solar right now, roughly. More like, I don't know, whatever, doesn't matter. 40%, right? About 10 megawatts, 4.3. About 40% of my power is coming out of solar, which is good because I also am noticing too. When we look on our map, that I'm down to 67k coal. This a minute ago when I checked was 70k. We're starting to eat through a lot of coal. So I'm going to try and save some of that by adding solar production. And if you look on our mini map, we have a little patch of coal here, a little patch of coal here, but that's about it in terms of coal. So I want to get into solar as soon as I can. Possibly figure out how to use uranium. Never really set up uranium other than in a test game. And my oil here is still 152,000 or 15,000%. Over here is 12,000%. So we do have lots and lots of oil in our pump jack or in our map. So I'm going to try to use some of that to convert as much of that oil into some sort of solid fuel to help burn off to fuel some of these power. Whew, my mouth's not working. Fuel some of these power issues that I'm having since I have an excess of oil on my map. And I think once I find, just judging by like space here to here, so that's about this big for a circle, this big of a circle. Thinking that my next coal patch would be somewhere out here, maybe somewhere up in here, or somewhere down in here. There might be some coal. I also currently am making, I think, train tracks we were doing last time you saw in the last hour. But some cliff explosives are set up now. I've also gone up and set just some power poles. I'm going to turn this patch of iron and this patch of copper all into my logistic stuff. My red belt, my red underground, my red splitters. Make some more inserters here and some more power poles and maybe mining drills and assembly machines if I feel so needed. That way my main bus I'm planning on putting here and shooting out to the right. I don't know if this water again closes off or not, but we have a decent amount of stone in multiple areas on this map that I can just make landfill to fill in any kind of water and bridge it as long as things work out the way that I am expecting them to. I also think that this iron and this water is a great place to do concrete because I want to have my whole main bus concreted. That's something I've always sort of wanted to have, but I've never done because I've always never made enough concrete. So I think this will be the one where I have a main bus. My main factory is 100% concrete floor, just for the fun of it because I've never done that, and I think that'd be really cool to see. Anywho, biters are getting a little anxious and a little hard to deal with the Laser turret's not putting out as much damage as I quite remember at this amount of bonuses. So we'll see what happens in another hour. Maybe by then I can have some of this set up and maybe a main base in the works. So stick around and check the stream if you want to see it happening live, and we'll see you soon. Thank you. Hour 10 is where we are at now, I think. Yeah, hour 10 is where we are at now. Since the last time we checked in with me, not a whole lot happening here in the main base. I'm noticing that coal, wow, 55k. I think when the last video an hour ago was 70k. So now we're down to 55k. So I'm working on, again, more sources of power. You can't see in the corner. I'm working on mining productivity 2, which is going to be 500, which we're at about, 100 through of it. Just to help get more coal mined up. I'm really having a hard time talking today, so forgive me for that. 2.4 mil here, 1.7 mil over here, 315k over here. So it's not like coal doesn't exist. This patch is gettable. That patch is gettable. So this is 3 times like what I started with. I think I started with around 100k in that patch. And 1.7 million and 2.4 million, that would be plenty to get me through. But I'm deciding before I come up here, like I mentioned before, to make 10 million and 1.7 to make this my all my logistics pieces to make my main bus out of, I'm going to need more power because I upgraded my laser towers with damage and shooting speed to a point where they feel pretty okay now that they're not getting really ripped apart. They're taking a little bit of a hit, so one more upgrade in either or maybe one in each will probably make it so that my walls don't even get touched by the biters is the hope. I'm coming down here and I'm going to set up all this oil, which currently is making plastics and sulfur, which I am hand running all the way up here to make my advanced circuits and my batteries just to continue to make things. I'm going to turn all this oil into solid fuel and create a large setup of burners here. You can see the blueprint. I'm probably going to double it up on this side and just make it go straight up. And I'm going to wall off this whole corner water and I'm going to surround it by laser turrets and turn all this oil just all into solid fuel just to feed my power supply right now. Leave this doing what it's doing, but just to try and save up some of this coal early and give myself enough power to set down a bunch of mining drills here and here. And I'm probably going to try to make some electric furnaces at that point as well to not have to bring coal up here and again save coal as much as I can. A lot of oil over here, so this oil can all be used for the plastics and sulfur that I'm currently making advanced circuits with. So I can bring all that just up over here to the side and maybe set up a little spot in here just to make a few that I can use to make my advanced smelting stuff and things like that before I really start making my main bus happen. Then maybe I'll offload my smelting to... If I can eat all this iron up and actually have this all free over here, maybe I can do some smelting here, make like my smelting down here, bring my trains up and drop it off on the main bus here and see where things go out that way. So mainly... big power down here from all this oil until I can get a more sustainable way of getting power taken care of. And then making my basics for my base, or my basics for my bus over here. And move my butt over to, oh, here we go. Yep, so yeah, they barely make it through. One or two of them gets to spit on my turrets. Power, base making supplies, main bus, oil to make advanced circuits, and save coal. That's kind of where I'm at right now, and I'm kind of grooving along with it. So catch me in another hour, and we'll see what happens then. Thanks for hanging out. All right, welcome. I almost missed this one because I was crafting my heart out. We are at 11 hours and 1 minute about. Not reporting from our original starting place up here. I usually try to make my videos, but eventually I would have to break the cycle, and I will have to start recording my videos at a different area. So right now we are down here at the area where I'm going to get all my fuel going. Got it all walled in here with lasers completely. I got to make a gate, and I got to put another radar here so you can see the top. But I think this is 14 boilers. I just put whatever fit. If I need more water, if I have to make the numbers work a little different, I will. And I am going to be working with the oil at the moment. I'm going to take the heavy, turn it to solid fuel, the light, turn it into solid fuel, and I'm going to make one more chemical plant when I can figure out where they are in this menu. Well, nope, see, that's wrong. do one more chemical plant, and I'll do one making petroleum. And I will work out the again, the efficiency thing. I'll work on that later. Right now, I just want to get it working. If I end up I'll probably have excess light oil over everything or excess petroleum over everything. I don't remember the numbers. I'll just throw down more crafting machines until it works. That's how I'm going to do it for now. And then I'll throw down a couple more oil refineries to go vertical. And I have my water here ready to go vertical. So I will just continue to grow this way, up and down with my oil refineries, left to right with my fuel if I need more and more, and I will just have all of this feed over into all of these boilers and hopefully give myself a very, very good baseline for some power. I'm also thinking, looking up here at where I had originally, I have this little setup here to put my wood into my coal line for fuel, but I'm pretty sure that if a boiler has coal in it, I didn't think about this, if it has coal in it, it won't put wood in it unless it runs out. So this one's putting wood in, and until all that wood will burn up, it won't use it because it won't be able to put wood on top of the stacks of coal. If you can see here in the bottom left down here when I highlight one, this one has 5 coal in it, so it won't put wood on top of that coal because there's only one stack that can be present in a boiler at a time. So perhaps down here I might set up a second line next to this one, either here or either somewhere else, and maybe in the future I'll just have my robots taking all the wood from my main bus, and I'll have a second line down here that just burns wood into excess power. And on a third note here, maybe off to the side after this, I'll put some more of my solar panels that I'm making at the moment. So I'll have my double line of solid fuel here, and then I'll have a line of maybe wood burning, depending on if I want to go that route. And then I'll just fill some of this space up with solar. But I'm thinking for now it's just going to be maybe some solar in here, and I'll clear this out, and I'll just run the double-sided line of solid fuel and see where that takes me for the moment. And that should give me enough power to set up my base materials here and get that main bus working. So far, radar as well hasn't really revealed too much more because we haven't been able to really place one out too far. We'll see what we discover once we start expanding a little further. But again, a little bit of coal here, a little bit of coal here, a little bit of coal there. Big patch of stone, still got this iron. Not a whole lot really too different going on. So, not sure what we're going to be doing. Not sure where I'm going to be in the next hour, but I'm hoping this oil to fuel should be set up shortly. Then I can hopefully go and start setting up my smelting things like I've talked about before. So, one more hour and we will see what happens. Stay tuned, stick whatever. Told you, dude, this session I can't talk at all. So stop by the stream if you're enjoying it, or just leave a comment on the YouTube videos if you like it, and we'll see what happens next. Welcome everyone to 12 hours and 0 seconds. Got it right on the nose. In looking around at how my base is developing, I'm noticing that my patches are way too frequent and way too close from what I imagined, and got me into reading up about Resource Spawner Overhauler and how it works, and I noticed that I've messed up the settings, and my frequencies are way too high for my iron, and that frequency works very similarly in Resource Spawner Overhauler, but also in my settings for Resource Spawner Overhauler. The size of a generation chunk, I thought I moved it up from 4 to 6, but it originally is a 7, and the resource chance is 0.5, so I've made my chunks smaller, and my resource chance a little bit smaller as well, so that kind of balances out. But Resource Spawner Overhauler naturally just makes things much more rich. So I think I'm going to actually cancel this base where it is before I get too far into it, and I'll start my next video on in part 3 of this series. We'll just continue. I think I'm just going to continue in this video series because this is only the third YouTube video that's going to be published so far. So you're not too far into it. You get to see a little bit of how I work and play, but I'm looking now at things and looking at patch sizes. This is an 11 million. This is 4.5 million, 4.5 million. That's 13 million, and these are still not even completely explored. That I'm just never really going to use all of these patches the way that I want to go. And it's all honestly, I don't want to take this video series or this map in this video series much further in this way, because I know that I'm not going to be happy with how close all my resources are. I'll never have to expand outside of what I have right here on the map in the next 100 hours of gameplay. I'll never have to leave. Eventually, obviously, yeah, it's an infinite style game, I would have to leave, but I don't see myself leaving pretty much more than what's here currently, especially with these huge oil yields, which would be a really great game if I wanted to up my technology multiplier or up my science cost multiplier to really use more. But I'm just not going to sit here and continue to push this base out too much, realizing that I have messed up my settings after talking with my people on stream a little bit and seeing that I've really just goofed up my numbers. So I think I'm going to cut this. I will keep the save going. That way, if anybody decides that they really want to see me finish this base out or continue to see how this base develops, I will gladly push forth with that more. But I haven't played in a while, so this is a good way, I guess, to shake off some of the rust, remember a bit about how some laser turrets work, and remember a little bit about how some of the new things that I forgot how I used to play were. So I think that is going to be the end of this, and I'm going to clip to the next segment where I will do a proper intro on a map settings and all that properly this time, since I forgot last time. And I'll probably continue to run it in the same series on my YouTube playlist, or maybe I will start a completely new series and we can do Social Distancing Town or Quarantine Town. So who knows, but stick tuned. There's going to be tons of more Factorio, and there's going to be a much nicer map probably generated here next that is going to be a little bit more based around the style of gameplay I like to play, as opposed to playing with the messed up settings. So we'll see what happens, and do stay tuned if you like, and we will start a new base. It's going to be a lot of fun getting into something more comfortable that I like to see. So see you in the next clip, and we'll catch you soon.